For me, I believe, and I still maintain that belief, that it was the responsible thing to do. In the history of the National Assembly, we've never had anybody collapse in the middle of a hearing. Now, there have been many stories as to whether it was fake or whether it wasn't fake. That wouldn't and shouldn't have been my concern at that point in time. It was better, in the abundance of caution, to err and address the situation of the gentleman's health. I believe the committee had adjourned for 30 minutes to reconvene, and possibly with the acting MD. And I thought, because a life was an issue, if that had happened, and the unexpected, God forbid, happened, the blame would be on this National Assembly for recalling a man at that point in time who was apparently not in good health. Whether he was feigning it, and there was a lot of story as to whether it was a delay tactic or it was dilatory. That wasn't our concern at that point in time. So what I said was that he had submitted his written reports, he was speaking to the written reports, and for that day, he didn't have to come back. We already had his written reports. However, the committee reserves the right, completely, absolutely, now that we know that he's out of hospital, from all reports, and we thank God for his life, we thank God that he's okay. And now we know that he's up and about. The committee has the absolute right to re-invite him for further questioning if the committee so chooses that they need him. And that is my ruling on that. On the second issue raised by the Minister of Niger Delta, it is indeed disturbing. I had a good laugh, almost tickled, but I realized that it wasn't even funny. It is the oldest trick in the book. For those who do not know, that is the oldest trick in the book. Just throw something out there, a wild allegation, without any basis, without any foundation, without any shred or iota of evidence, and distract from the main issue. It's the oldest book. And I must say at this point in time that unfortunately the media and the journalists helped him in amplifying what we all know is untrue. That 60% of contracts of the NDDC is awarded to National Assembly. That became the news, distracting from the main issue. On that note, I've been in this house this is my 5th term here. I've never once collected anything from the National Assembly. And I know I speak for a great majority of members of this house. Great majority. And because of that, I will take this matter and this allegation and accusation very serious. And I will give the minister 24 to 48 hours. And Clark, I want you to back this up with a letter from this house. To give the minister 24 to 48 hours to publish the names, the contracts so given, the dates, because obviously these things will be documented. unveil the companies of the 60% projects that were given to members of the National Assembly, failing which failing which, yes, of members of this 9th Assembly, names, contracts, companies, dates of the amounts, every single particular and detail of those members of this 9th Assembly that he gave contracts to. Failing which, this House will bring the full wrath of the law. There are laws in our books for defamation. It is important that we set this record straight. Clerk, the minister, go ahead and sit down. Make sure this letter goes out today. The Honorable Minister owes it to himself. He owes it to the committee. He owes it to the people of Niger Delta. He owes it to Nigeria to publish those names and the companies and the details of those who he has given this contract to. Yesterday to me was, I will reserve my judgment, but I believe that the minister came there to play games. We're not playing games here, and we'll get to the bottom of everything that has happened in Niger Delta, not for anybody's sake, but for the people of Niger Delta. Thank you.